Good morning, David Akubi and Bearwoods Photography. I am headed up the hill to go to some other hills to meet a friend of mine, George Mraz. And George and I are going to take advantage of this cloudy weather here this morning. And we're going to go over to some local falls near Helen, Georgia, Anaruby Falls, and Smith Creek. We've had a lot of rain here in the recent weeks, so there should be some good flow in the river. It's cloudy, so the conditions are perfect to go photograph. We may have a little bit of a drizzle, so I've brought my shower caps to cover my Tamron lens just in case. A little bit of water doesn't matter, a lot, just cover it up. So what I wanted to do this morning is I'm just sort of finalizing and testing some things that I want to take to Iceland next month, and I'm just trying to decide on which filters, which strength of filters I wanted to take. I've decided that for sure. I've tested a lot of these different magnetic filters, and my favorite by far are the H&Ys. So I'm going to be taking my H&Y filter system over, which has the drop-in circular polarizer. You could also drop in, if you don't want to use a circular polarizer, you can drop in a 10-stop neutral density filter, or if you want neutral density and circular polarization, you can put in a dark polarizer. I've got a 5-stop dark circular polarizer and a 6-stop dark circular polarizer. So I want to see which one of those two I'm going to take. It's great to just, put it on the filter frame on the front, rotate it a little bit, and you get your polarization, you get your consistent ND, no color change, no shift, nothing. Perfect. I also brought along, just in case I needed less or more neutral density, I brought along some neutral densities that I can put either a straight polarizer on and then put some of the H&Y filters on the front that are just neutral density. So I've got circular polarizer in the frame, and I can put neutral densities on front. If I needed to, I could even go as much as 5 stops of polarization and neutral density dropped in, or 6, and then 10 on the front. So I brought it on. I want to see how much I'm going to need, because we're going to be doing a lot of waterfalls in Iceland, and I just want to sort of finalize that. So like I said, my favorite of all the ones that I've tested are the H&Y, and when we get in the field, I'll sort of show you some of the things that I like about them. It's just the convenience, the compactness, the weight, everything else is just perfect for what I'm looking for. So I'll try to also get a link down in the bottom in the comments that'll take you to the H&Y page, so you can see the different filters they make. One that I've had on order for a while and I'm waiting for is the night sky filter, which removes some of the discoloration from the light pollution or anything else that's there. And I plan on doing a pretty good bit of night skies this year, so that's why I want to have that. Anyhow, I'm going to meet George. I'm not going to bore you with the drive over there. I'm meeting him over in Dahlonega, which is 30 minutes from my house or so, and we're going to head out from there, which is another 30 minutes over to Helen. So I will see you shortly in the field. Thank you. David Akubi and Bearwoods Photography. We're at Anaruby Falls, and I want to tell you what I'm using here first. We're going to photograph these falls in Smith Creek in the foreground. I'm going to be using my Sony A7R III with my Tamron 17-28 to capture some wide angle. Then I'll change that to 28-75 to capture some of the details in Smith Creek itself. I've got my Sirui W2204 waterproof tripod and my Acratech GXP ballhead to help me today. And then I've got the H&Y filter system. It's a magnetic filter system, and I'm going to be putting it on the front of the lens. It's got a 67mm adapter currently in it, And then you can see that where this little piece is, this comes out and you can drop in circular polarizers or circular polarizers with built-in neutral density filters. So I'm going to do a series of testing as to which ones I like. I'll show some of those images, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to I'll put the information on the image as to which polarizer I was using as well. So let's get some shooting done. Alright, so what I want to do here is I want to demonstrate a couple of things. First of all, the composition that I'm working on. You can see that there's two falls up here, and then there's the other one comes in, and then Smith Creek forms. And what I want to do is I want to try to make sure that I'm bringing those two convergences and using that line to carry all the way through. So I'm giving a starting point and an ending point for the viewer to go ahead and study the frame, and it's visually pleasing that way. Now the other thing that I'm doing and demonstrating here is if you look in this area right here, you can notice there's a lot of glare, there especially. As I turn this circular polarizer with a 6-stop neutral density built in, my H&Y filter, you can see that I get that contrast that really looks good in that area. It's going to help me slow my exposure down to give me a nice flowing feel to the water, give it a good mood. I'm one of those that I do like to slow it down. This particular case, I've got it at about 1 second at f8 with that 6-stop filter at 50 ISO. So we'll go ahead and we'll put that information on the image as we share it. But you can see how much of a difference that circular polarizer makes in that foreground to give you less distractions of shiny areas. So we'll see. So again, what I'm doing here now, the finished image will be wider because the format that I'm photographing or videoing in is going to be different than the format that I'm actually photographing in. So I'm going to shoot some of this with a 17, and I'm also going to shoot some of it with a 24, just to sort of check the difference and pulling in some of these foreground features. As you can actually see that this area below has some great interest down there, and I do want to go ahead and keep those falls in the top. And again, I can't emphasize enough how photographing with a circular polarizer makes a difference. So when I turn the circular polarizer here, you automatically see the contrast increase and reduces all the glare that's on the rocks. So I'm hoping again about a 1 second exposure. I'm going to do verticals of this as well. You can't do that in the video, but I'll share some in the video itself with the stills that I do, because to me this is a vertical scene. I've eliminated that fall that's way up above this. I may try to position myself in a little bit to get that in there, but it's going to be really hard to do that and not get all the debris that's in the foreground. So again, I'm looking at the convergence of these leading lines, taking me up, carrying me around into those that almost mirror that foreground image as well. So that's my goal in my composition here. Again, using the circular polarizer with the neutral density to slow the water down and also to reduce the glare. So let's get this done. Hi, so hopefully you enjoyed our little session here at Anna Ruby Falls. Hopefully you learned something about composition and what filters will do. Just a beautiful day. Going to photograph this one last scene. I do ask if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you don't already, and ring that little bell down there and you can get notifications whenever I post a new video. So again, thank you from Anna Ruby Falls in North Georgia. Have a good day.